everyone, welcome back to the Salapaloosa Knits videocast. It's been a while. If you're still here, thank you for coming back and for sticking around. We've had a bit of an hiatus because I got engaged in January and married in June, and in between I had a lot of planning to do. We did not have a wedding planner. I did everything, and I'm a bit of a detail-oriented person, you might say. I wouldn't say I'm a full-on perfectionist, maybe a selective perfectionist, I guess you could say. I do prize myself on, you know, raising my own bar and doing things properly and doing my best. I think that is very important, but it's also quite important allowing yourself to do things good enough, and yeah, that's quite important too. So I do struggle with finding that balance sometimes, and especially with something as important as, you know, your wedding day. It's important to most people, and you do want it to be sort of just right. And that took up a lot of time, unfortunately, and it didn't make for a lot of time to do other fun things like podcasting. But I have done a lot of knitting since last time, and I am still going strong with my knitting, and yeah, I thought it was just time to, you know, get back into the swing of things, really. Yes, I'm already blabbering and I haven't even gotten past the introductions. Yeah, that bodes very well. Anyways, my name is Elizabeth. I'm coming to you from the western coast of Norway in a city called Bergen, and this is where I live with my brand new husband, Christian. Today is, let me check, September the 17th. We've had a lot of stormy weather the last few weeks, and I wasn't really planning on recording today. This past weekend, it's a Tuesday today, this past weekend I went on a bit of a knitcation with a few of my best girls, and we had the best time just knitting and relaxing, and there was a terrible storm outside, which is, you know, perfect knitting weather, but we've had that sort of weather for a while, and during this past weekend I really felt that it was time to get back into podcasting, and yeah, I've missed talking to you guys, and hopefully some of you are still around and, you know, yeah, care to listen to my blabbering. If you are, thank you. I truly appreciate it. But anyways, I wanted to get back into podcasting, and then today I had a bit of time off, and suddenly it wasn't really all that grey and gloomy outside, so I thought, hey, natural light, I haven't seen you for a while, and I thought I might just give it a go. I'm going to jump into it and we'll see where it takes us. Yeah, okay. If you want to get in touch with me, you can pop me an email at salaploosanknits@gmail.com if you have any questions or things like that in regards to what I'm talking about. I think it's really great if you pop in a comment below, and then we can, you know, have a chat about it, and maybe what you're thinking and want to ask is something that other people are questioning or want to get to know themselves. So yeah, I think that's a great way to do that. We have a Ravelry group for the podcast. Granted, that's not much happening there at the moment, but there's lots of beautiful and creative and lovely people there, so check out Salapaloosa Knits videocast on Ravelry. And other than that, I am highly active on Instagram as Salapaloosa Knits. That's where you can follow my knitting every day and what I'm up to, so do check it out if you'd like to. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, wait a moment, I do need to have a sip of coffee. I put my cup on the floor because I don't have a table around me. You might, if you've been watching the podcast previously, you may notice that I have changed where I am recording. We do live in a smallish city apartment with not that much natural light, so it's a bit difficult to find the right place to record. This is actually where I started off recording, in front of our fireplace, which is now my plant shelf. Get a bit of a plant shelfie there. Ta-da! I am a big plant lover and I do want to live in an urban jungle. So during the spring and summer months in particular, my fireplace is just one big plant shelf, which I love. I think Christian thinks it's a bit much, but you know, he married me, so he'll just have to deal with that. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain if this is where I'll be recording from now on, or maybe I'll change it around and try it a few different locations, and we'll see what happens. But for now, this is where I'm at, because this is where the light's at, and you know, who doesn't love a bit of houseplants? I don't know. Alright, I know you're here for the knitting. Maybe I should put a timestamp in the description box so that if you're not interested in any of that blabber and you want to get into the knitting, this is where you can catch me at 7 minutes in. I'm wearing my I am having such a brain freeze right now. Navelli, sorry, my Navelli tee. This is the pattern that I test knit for Caitlin Hunter. The pattern is out. It is a cropped top with colourwork in the bottom and these really lovely short sleeves with 2 colours. I think that this is such a clever way of just bringing up the colours from the bottom part, just with the tiny edge up here. It's a bit oversized. I know a lot of people have done it even larger than this one. Granted, this was a test knit, so the final pattern was probably a little bit different in the measurements than the test knit. But I chose the size that would make it sort of oversized, a little bit oversized in the waist, but not as much in the chest area. I just felt like that was a bit of a more flattering shape for my body type. My waist is a little bit smaller than my chest, so if it's very oversized in the chest, then I just feel like everything gets very baggy on me. So this, let's see, okay, this is where my waist is at, and that is the extra fabric we've got going on, but as you can see, that it isn't that much in the chest. So anyways, I really like this pattern. I think it is very cute and sort of cool as well. I think that this top goes equally well with something like a stonewashed jean or like a leather pant if you wear those. I do. I think leather pants are awesome. But I think that just the contrast works really well, and or a high-waisted skirt like I'm wearing today. It's just really comfortable to wear and really easy to. I feel like it just fits really well into my wardrobe, and it's easy to put on. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It was such a joy to knit. It really zoomed off my needles. I felt like I'd just started knitting it when it was finished. What else? Yeah, the yarn that I used is all by Skeinqueen, and I picked all of them, all the skeins up at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I thoroughly enjoyed working with the yarn, and I do love the colours together. I think that they are just quite perfect, to be honest. I'm so pleased with the colours that I chose. I really quickly picked out this charcoal grey and this sort of, I don't even know what to call this green. It's like a sort of an olive, like a fair olive. It's not like the the colour that we usually call olive. It's more like the actual colour of olives. Or yeah, but anyways, I did pick these ones out really quickly, and I was kind of stuck as to which the final colour should be, and then my friend Tristan of Dragonhood Yarns picked up this light one and said, what about this one? And I thought, hey, I probably never thought of that myself, but I do love it. So yeah, that's how that all came into fruition, and I'm so pleased with it. I also really like the neck. It's quite a wide ribbing, and just a rolled hem neck, and it's a bit of boat neck. I do like a boat neck. I think it's a little bit retro, fabulous, and pretty cool. So I'm really pleased with that. Yeah, that's what I'm wearing. What else? Yeah, I don't have much more to say about it. If you do want to dive into a little bit of light colourwork knitting, then I do think that this project would be good. There's a lot of stock in it, which knits itself, and the colourwork section is very enjoyable, and yeah, it was highly enjoyable. The moment that I cast it on, my immediate thought was, I want to do another one. I want to knit a second one, and yeah, seeing how easy I find it to wear and how well it fits in my wardrobe, I would probably make another one as well. Anyways, because it's been quite a while since the last podcast, clearly I have been knitting quite a bit. I do have a lot of projects that I could show you, but I'm going to portion it out a bit and bring some projects in bit by bit and episode by episode, instead of throwing it all on you, because that would be quite overwhelming even for me, and I would probably lose my voice. So the first thing that I want to show you is a project that I put away quite a while ago. I cast it on August last year, so if you have been watching the podcast since then, you've seen it before, but I put it down because I lost the mojo for it. I didn't really feel it, and I know a lot of people do just, you know, keep on carrying on and finish the projects that I started, and that's important for them, and you know, good for you if that works for you, but that just doesn't work for me. If I lose my mojo for a project, I have no problem putting it down for a while, because I do want my knitting to be sort of a calm and stress-free space, and somewhere that I can, you know, relax and have fun and do the things that I want to, like knit the projects that I do feel passionate about. And because of that, this project didn't get much love for a while, and it is my crystal cardigan. You guys, I just finished it. I just finished it this August, a few weeks ago. This is it. Let's see, I should have given it a bit of a steam before recording, but this was highly spontaneous, so there you go. I apologise if you're offended, but yeah, I'm sure we'll manage. So this is the it's called Krystallkofte. In Norwegian it's called Krystallkofte. and it is a pattern by a company called Sandnes garn. It translates into Sandnes yarn, which is a very large yarn factory and very old yarn factory in Norway, and they do produce patterns as well. So this particular pattern is from this booklet right here. It's called Norwegian Icons, Norske ikoner, and the number of the booklet is number 46. So if you are interested in the pattern, then get in touch with them. I don't know if this pattern is available in English. I would recommend getting in touch with the factory to Sandnes garn. I'll put I'll put the link in the down bar along with the rest of the show notes. Yes, but anyways, it's definitely available in Norwegian and probably a couple of different Scandinavian languages, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, this is just an entire colourwork cardigan, and it was steeked, and I am really happy with the way that it turned out. The first time I saw it, I really felt for the way, both the pattern but also the shape of it, because it's quite a feminine cardigan. It's very slim in the waist, and it's quite short as well, and yeah, so it's just a much more feminine colourwork cardigan than a lot of the other typical Norwegian colourwork cardigans, and I really did like that, because I think that this would look really well over maybe a dress or with a skirt, and yeah, just I thought it would be something that I would wear quite a lot. And let me tell you, I wasn't wrong. I've been wearing it so much since I finished it already, and I haven't even sewn the buttons on it yet. But part of me just don't want to do it, because yeah, pretty buttons, they are quite expensive, and I know that I will never ever use this cardigan closed up. I don't think I'll ever do that. I never do that with cardigans. I always keep them open. But at the same time, I do feel like you know, buttons look really good on the button band just hanging there. So I'll probably do it. And I do have the buttonholes on the other one, so it would look a little bit strange without the buttons, I'm sure. But anyways, I did put this down because I did lose my mojo for it. I just did not feel it, and as you can see, this pattern is, I mean, stating the obvious here, but yes, it is quite repetitive. There's just this tiny, this tiny portion, this crystal with these little dots around it. You know, that's the entire pattern, and it just repeats itself. So when I got to, I want to say, I was probably almost finished with the body. I think I had one repeat left, or did I? Maybe I was completely finished. Oh no, I remember what it was. This is what happened. I'd finished the body, I'd put it down, and then I'd started the first sleeve, and I'd gotten about maybe a third in on the first sleeve. And when I finished the first sleeve, I realized that to get the right length of the sleeve, it didn't really fit with where I'd left off the body. So because I did want these to add up the pattern to look right, I guess, I decided to elongate the body just a tiny bit so that it all fits together. And then I knit the second sleeve, I put them all together, and when I picked this up, when my mojo first kicked in and I decided, hey, I'm doing it, I want to wear this fall, I want to have it in my wardrobe. And it wasn't the fact that this wasn't, you know, fun or enjoyable to knit, really. It was just, when I started it, I overdid it a bit, and I just got a little bit fed up with the pattern. So, you know, coming back to it, I think that was very healthy for me and made all the difference, because the last part of this cardigan was very enjoyable to knit. And yeah, I'm just really, really pleased with it. And when I did pick it back up, I finished it in, I guess, in a week, 2 weeks, something like that. I think it wasn't even 2 weeks. I think it was around a week from the point where I picked up the sleeve and finished it and did the second sleeve and the rest of the torso. It took me about a week to finish it. So, you know, when the mojo kicks, it just really kicks in, and yeah, it all worked out in the end, and I'm super pleased with the pattern. The yarn that I used is also by the same company that published the pattern. It's called Tynn merino by Sandnes. It's 100% merino yarn, which, you know, isn't necessarily the best for colour work, but you know, it does fit really well with this design, because it is fairly lightweight, and it makes for a bit of a dense fabric without being too warm or woolly, you know. And yeah, I'll wear it a lot. I know I will. I already have. The next project that I wanted to share with you is a new design. It's a new sock design that I'm really excited about. The pattern is just about to be test knit, and it will be released in just a few weeks. So I just wanted to give you a little peek of what's happening with that. Lovely talented Robin of Work Play Knit, she got in touch with me just before the summer and asked me if maybe I would be interested in doing a collaboration with her and try out some of her yarn. And I absolutely did, because I love everything that Robin does. She is such a talented dyer. If you don't know her, do check out Work Play Knit. She's great, and her colours are stunning, so I got really excited really quickly, and I told her about this idea that I'd had for a sock pattern, where I really wanted to do something with mermaids and maybe some mermaid tails, and she liked the idea, and she started playing around with her dye pods and came up with the most where should I put it? The most beautiful colourway called Rainbow Fish. And I'm just going to, I just have a little bitty thing left here, but I'm going to try and show you just the exquisite depth of her yarn, because it truly is just spectacular. These pops of colour in here are just, it's just the most beautiful thing, and I literally squealed when this showed up in my mailbox. It was truly the happiest of happy mails, and yes, it's called Rainbow Fish, and that really made my creative juices flowing, and I started putting this idea into life with the mermaid tails, and that resulted in a pair of socks. They are called Tails of the Sea. Tails as in the tail of a mermaid, and not tales as in story. Tails of the Sea. And it is knit out of Work Play Knits gorgeous yarn, and the design is by me, and here you have them. I'm just going to slowly show them like this, because you know the pattern is in the front, so putting them on a block is just not going to show the pattern really well. And here you can see this stunning colour by Robin, work play knit, rainbow fish, and the way that this knits up just makes me so excited. Yeah, so the pattern is inspired by mermaids. I'm a big lover of everything a little bit mysterious, or you know, old fairy tales or folklore and things like that. And The Little Mermaid was one of my all-time favourite movies growing up. Granted, it's not, it doesn't have the best morals, I guess you could say. You should never give up your voice for a man, ladies. But I did thoroughly enjoy it when I was a child, and the songs are beautiful, and it was just so magical and exciting, and yeah, and that really triggered my love for mermaids still. And yeah, so when I came up with this idea, I got really excited, and I just wanted to do a bit of an homage to one of my favourite sort of mythical creatures, the mermaid. So yeah, these socks are knit, they are knit bottom up. You start at the toesies, and yeah, I'm just going to show you really quickly one more time just how beautiful that yarn knits up, because I feel like it's just quite extraordinary and it just takes my breath away. And yeah, sock puppet. Yeah, okay, well, it's knit toe up, but it's knit with a heel flap and gusset toe up. So I know a lot of people struggle with toe up socks because they struggle to find the right heel, and feel like knitting toe up socks doesn't really accommodate for people with maybe a little bit larger heels, or just, you know, the shape of the foot, it just doesn't work for them. But this is a heel flap and gusset toe up heel, so that should accommodate for that problem. I'm a person who really love altering between knitting toe up and cuff down socks, because you know, it keeps things a bit more interesting, and I just really love a good toe up sock, especially because the toe, I think, just, yeah, I really love a good toe up sock toe. And yeah, I feel like this really is that, and especially because of the amazing yarn by Work Play Knit. So the main colour, I don't have the name for that unfortunately, but it is also by Work Play Knit. I will come back to you with that information when the pattern is released. Yeah, I hope you like them. They're called Mermaid Tails, and they will be released in a few short weeks, and you know, you can bring a bit of summer back into fall with you, knitting something a bit summery and fun. Hope you like them. Okay, the next project that I want to talk to you about, it isn't really knitting related, it is crafty and definitely creative, but not knitting. We are talking embroidery, and particularly bead embroidery. Just before my, not just before my wedding, but when I picked out my wedding gown, I realised that I kind of wanted to wear sort of a headpiece of some sort, but I couldn't really find something that I liked that was, or that it just didn't you know, there are a lot of beautiful things in the stores, that's not what I mean, but there wasn't anything that quite matched up with what I had envisioned. So I decided to make something, and I designed a headband. I got some ivory silk satin, which is the fabric that my wedding gown was made out of, and I started sketching, and I came up with a design that I really enjoyed and thought would work really well with the dress. So that's what I want to talk a bit about. So yeah, I'm almost getting a bit emotional bringing it back, because you know, it holds a lot of memories and it's very personal, but I did want to share it with you guys. Okay, here it is. Let's see. So what I did was I sketched out a embroidery design, and then I transferred the embroidery into bead embroidery on my sketching, and then I ordered, sorry, I'm probably holding this a bit too far away, and then I ordered yes, the silk satin in the ivory colour and some Swarovski crystals, and some freshwater pearls. It sounds really fancy, but you know, it was, you know, for my wedding day, so I did feel like that was quite appropriate. And then I started to embroider, and I haven't really done bead embroidery before, so it was, you know, really steep learning curve. I'm going to pop in some photos of this on, how it looks. But I really wanted to wear something self-made on my wedding day, and I knew that I would never, I'm not a very prolific sewer. I do enjoy sewing, but there was no way that I was going to try and sew my wedding gown. So that was, you know, quite quickly taken off the list, and I was thinking about maybe some sort of shawl, but we got married in June, and you know, there wasn't really need for a shawl. I even thought about doing something with a veil, but I didn't know how to. Well, I probably could have knit one, but I wanted a cathedral length veil, so I wasn't. Yeah, that, if you don't know, that's a long veil. And also I really wanted lace in the veil, so yeah, long story short, I decided that it would probably have to be something different, and then I came up with this idea and I just got extremely excited. I did pick up a sort of a plastic, just a plastic headband for, you know, for crafting and for, I guess, sewing. I found one in a larger size, and I tried it on, and it felt quite comfortable. So I decided to try and work with that. So I got the finished plastic headband as a mold, and then I yeah, had, you know, all this silk satin fabric that I'd embroider, and it was so much work, because clearly everything had to be hand sewn, and just dealing with the way the fabric worked, it truly was not easy, and I, you know, pulled my hair a few times because I got really frustrated trying to do this, because it turned out it really wasn't easy, and also creating a nice finish on the inside, which I know nobody is seeing. Well, I guess I'm showing it to you now if I can get this to focus. Getting a beautiful finish on the inside was really hard, and it's not I would never call this beautiful, but it's quite alright, I'd say, and it was probably the best that I could hope for. I'm really happy with the way that turned out, and I'm so pleased that I got to wear something that was special and not only self-made, but I also designed every little piece of this, and it just makes it so special, and yeah, I was really excited about it. But also I didn't want to work on this while Christian was home, because I didn't want him to see any of the things that I was wearing. I think that is just a sweet tradition, and I wanted to uphold it, but at the same time that, you know, took away quite a bit of time that would have been perfect for sewing on this. But luckily, I guess I should say, he works a lot, so somehow I was able to finish it, but it took a long time. There are so many hours of work gone into this, I can't even tell you. But anyways, I know it's not knitting, but I do tend to dive into a bit of a few different creative rabbit holes every now and then, and this was something quite different, and I do love embroidery, but this is not anything that I've ever done before, and yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, I think we are just going to wrap things up right there, keeping it somewhat short and sweet, I think, and I will be back hopefully very soon for a new chat. And once again, thank you so much to everyone who's stayed and who's still here. I know it's been a while, and I truly appreciate it, and if you thought that this was enjoyable too, please feel free to like and subscribe below. It means a lot, and yeah, thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye!